All right, all right, all right. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that new map intro by Nice Username. But here we go. We're hopping into our first game of the day as we spawn up here at the top right-hand corner of the map, atop of the red Protoss player. Give it up for the one and only, the notorious Rotterdam. Oh no, I messed up my cameras already. Damn you, new patch. And spawn down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player in a Protoss versus Protoss. We have the GM level player, Endless. Sweet, so we're starting off with a PvP. This is from the Rotterdam sub-replay pack. He does include replays that he loses in, so don't worry guys. Just because it's from Rotterdam sub-replay pack doesn't mean Rotterdam's gonna win all the games. You don't necessarily know the result, but man, look at how beautiful this map is. I love the kind of cosmic dust in the background. Sequencer is honestly just a beautiful map, and very, very nice map if you are kind of OCD or whatever, because it has all of these nice little tiles and everything. But then you do have these small little areas where it's like, oh, why are there 3 tiles connected? Why are there these tiles like this? And now if you are OCD, you're just going to be like, oh god, why did you point that out? But honestly, a really, really awesome map. I've definitely been enjoying seeing this, and I know that there's been some mixed feelings about this. For the most part, it's worth talking about for PvP at least. You always like to talk about areas for things like Blink Stalkers. You'd like to talk about how big a map is in regards to how effective it'll be to do Phoenix versus Phoenix, or just Stargate in general. And hey, here we go. We do have Stargate coming down from Rotterdam. What a surprise. Rotterdam, I think, very well known for his Stargate play. This is not a surprise in the slightest. But I guess the question is, what is his opponent going to be doing? Got double Adepts coming out. Chronobus coming down on the Cybernetics core. Nothing too crazy. The double gateway opening is pretty common, but there is that first Stargate coming out for Endless. And also going to be moving across the map with his double Adepts. Now, Rotterdam did kind of the same thing, but got up an earlier Stargate. And even getting up a Mothership core, but his Mothership core is a little bit later on, and that's sort of where that extra gas came from. That's why Rotterdam was able to get up his Stargate a little bit faster. So we'll see if that ends up costing him if he's going to need that Photon Overcharge energy. Ooh, Rotterdam! Okay, I thought for a moment he might have canceled his Shades and try to intercept his opponent's Adepts, but no, it just ends up working out where he gets 1 or 2 shots off and then Shades on a little bit further out. But both these players are going to be playing defense for a little bit. First 2 Adepts over here for Endless moving into the mineral line. There is going to be 1 Photon Overcharge available. At the same time, Rotterdam actually losing quite a bit of health on one of these Adepts. The other Adept going to make it out safely. At the same time, we do have 2 worker kills for Endless, and Rotterdam still managing to secure a couple more, going up from 1 to 3 in the past couple of seconds. Also doing some nice micro, keeping this low health Adept alive. It looks like Endless may have lost vision of it or something.
That's your base being flattened.
Oh man, Endless getting the Total Biscuit voice in the back of his head. He's hearing, yeah, Rotterdam did more damage than you. But the bright side is Rotterdam did not take this expansion quite as quickly as Endless, who already has a nearly finished expansion. He was able to take it much, much earlier on. And what was Rotterdam doing with those minerals? He did go for the really quick 2 Phoenix, and he actually is ahead on that Phoenix count. Now, both of these players have scouted out that the other person made a Stargate. And that's the primary reason. They both know, and look, I love this patrol. This is a great patrol. It's not easy to get a funky looking patrol like this. But it definitely looks pretty funny. But as I was saying before I so rudely interrupted myself, they both know that they went for Stargate, and they both know that the other person is aware of their own Stargate. So it's pretty obvious that both players are gonna just continue to make Phoenix. I am really surprised to see Rotterdam go for the move out across the map, though. This is one of the biggest no-nos in Phoenix versus Phoenix, because the time it takes you to move across the map, your opponent's gonna get an additional Phoenix. And look at that, Rotterdam, who had the faster Stargate, who had a Phoenix lead, is now down in Phoenix. He does have a second Stargate that's now finishing up, but oh man, that was a brutal blow. Endless is going to have a nice little timing he might be able to exploit, where he does have the Phoenix lead, and if he continues to just invest those other resources into additional gateways, or even just a fleet beacon to get up the Phoenix range upgrade, then he can really start to punish Rotterdam. Rotterdam, of course, also with the later expansion. Both these guys only sit around on their third gas geyser. This might just be one of those kind of subtle things about PvP that I'm just not super familiar with, but I suppose neither of the players really had a huge worker count, so no point in getting a fourth gas geyser if you're not really going to be mining from it immediately anyways. You do need those minerals more in the early stage of the game compared to gas. But either way, things have settled down for a little bit. It's going to turn into a Phoenix versus Phoenix war. The only problem is I don't think Endless has any idea what Rotterdam is exactly up to with this second Stargate here. So he doesn't know he's actually being outproduced, or he would be outproduced, yeah, if Rotterdam start up those 2 Phoenix at a time, just securing some of those extra minerals and gas for it, I suppose. Of course, you want to stay on top of that worker production, but in exchange, what is Endless going to have? There has to be a trade-off. Where is he spending those minerals? Where is he spending that extra gas? Only just now getting up that 4th gas geyser, so that kind of explains where he was spending some of that extra gas. It wasn't, because he didn't have it. But he's already fallen behind in the Phoenix count now. He's warped in a few of these gateway units. He's got 2 sentries they can hallucinate Phoenix with, send them across the map against some scouting information, whereas Rotterdam is quite literally on a Phoenix mono battle now. Just ignore the fact that he lost 2 adepts earlier on. No. This is a Phoenix mono battle all out from here. Even getting a 3rd Stargate, but hallucinate Phoenix does scout out how many Phoenix Rotterdam has. And I don't know if this was enough of a reveal, if Endless was able to immediately identify, wait a second, I took a Phoenix advantage earlier on, but it looks like you have more Phoenix than me. And I think that he probably does. Yeah, he's already throwing down 2 additional Stargates to try and play a little bit of catch-up, saying, well, if you're going to have 2 Stargates, I'm going to make 3 Stargates. Unfortunately, Rotterdam is actually already on top of that, has a 3rd Stargate finishing up, and is out patrolling the map now with a Phoenix lead of 4. Now, Phoenix versus Phoenix wars, they seriously snowball incredibly quickly. If you even have a 1 or 2 Phoenix lead, that can make a massive difference in the Phoenix versus Phoenix war. But Rotterdam with a 4 Phoenix lead should be unbelievably one-sided if he does take a direct engagement under relatively even grounds, as long as his Phoenix aren't kind of split up. But now he's up to a 5 Phoenix lead. This is just getting a little bit out of control now. Endless, to his credit, is going to have his triple Stargate now triple producing Phoenix, or pretty soon should be triple producing Phoenix. So it looks like both these guys a little bit strapped for cash right now, only sitting on 46 workers. But we do have the fleet beacon coming out, and this is where things can start to change. He needs to buy himself a good another minute and a half almost, because he needs to wait for this fleet beacon to finish up, and then he needs to get Anion Pulse Crystals, which is the Phoenix range upgrade that will allow him to demolish Rotterdam's Phoenix from a 2 range increased distance over his opponent. He'll just be able to fire when Rotterdam cannot fire at his opponent. So that is the main goal that Endless has to take advantage of if he wants to bring this back. That, or he has to rely on Rotterdam just being less aggressive than he should be now that he has that massive Phoenix lead. Of course, there does get a weird point in Phoenix versus Phoenix wars where it's hard to tell who has the lead because you just have so many, but here we go. Rotterdam's taking the engagement. He's going in, and he has a massive Phoenix lead, even with photon overcharge. This is so ridiculously one-sided. 17-4, 3, 2, 1, and demolish. That 1 Phoenix not going to be enough. GG gets called. And it looks like Rotterdam going to be taking the first game from his ladder replay sub replay pack.